Hi, so my name is Lavender, and I have been thinking about making more videos just for literally my own pleasure, and also because I think I have things I would like to talk about. I have things that I would like to do, like art on camera, or I have a lot of creative ideas actually, and I feel like I don't want to seem too performative or like self-obsessed because like I'm really worried about that, but I think I just kind of want to talk about like there's a lot of things I want to talk about and there's a lot of things I want to do or show, but I think I want to show my book collection, which might not seem that interesting to some people, but I think it's just this is literally to document my life and my interests because I really like don't I think it's therapeutic. I think that I'm going to really enjoy it, and I think that it helps me feel more like a real person when I can look back on videos of myself doing things and stuff like that. And I feel self-conscious because I'm looking exactly at myself instead of just like talking to myself. I can see myself right now. But regardless, so I have a lot of books that I think are like really, really cool, and I want to show sort of kind of, because I collect books, and then, yeah. So this is like, okay, I don't even know where to start actually. So this is like one that I collected that's like Wuthering Heights. Uh, Obviously by Emily Bronte, and this copy is just all my books are used, so I think that's why I think it's kind of a cool collection, is because it's like kind of my interests gathered together, but also they're usually like old looking or have interest intricacies intric, intricacies that are cool. This one is like so pretty looking, and my mom found it when we were at a thrift shop because right before I was like, I want Wuthering Heights, and then we went in and she like literally found it immediately. It was like the first book she saw, and it's like a really good copy, and it smells good, and it's got like kind of paper that is like kind of worn, and I don't really know if I'm supposed to show the inside of books. Like I've seen other people do it, but I've always worried that it's like not okay and that I'll get in trouble. But it says in here that it is, but it says that someone named Christine Parrish owned this. I get like all my stuff from thrift shops, and I don't know if like that just makes me feel better, I guess. And you can always find like super random things, and it feels more wholesome and more like hunter and gathering, even though like it isn't. I actually have not read this yet. I think I don't actually like the Brontes' writing that much, even though I find them interesting as people and other things like that. And I find the concept interesting. I'm like, I don't really think I want to like actually read this that badly. Like I've heard quotes from it that I think are beautiful, but I really, really struggle with fiction, and that's all I can say. And it's mainly modern fiction I struggle with, but I guess I also struggle with older fiction. Like I love certain classics or I love certain fictional books, but Wuthering Heights is not really one of them. I'm going to probably talk faster now because, well, not talk faster now. I'm going to go through them faster now because I feel like I should only spend like 2 minutes per book because I have a lot of books. Oh, so one thing I do that is, like probably super like controversial is like, sometimes when I get used books, I will cut out pages and then like I'll like stick them into other books, or I'll like do art with them. I don't usually just destroy books, okay? Like, that's not what I'm saying. But I do, to a certain extent, change them. And it's because I love books, but, like, I see them more as something I can use for art or for connecting different layers of thoughts together. Or it's like, there's, like, things I want to do with books that don't involve reading sometimes. And I don't want people to think I just want to destroy older books or that I want to destroy books in general. I wouldn't do it if the book was like really rare or like really, really nice or I don't know, really, really old. Because I have a book that's like over 100 years old, actually multiple, that I kind of want to show that I've never heard. And I honestly kind of think I should just give it to somebody else to take care of because I'm scared. It's kind of a mental breakdown type thing too, where I was just like doing it kind of almost as like an OCD ritual, where I felt like if I put the pages together properly, that it would like form a better reality. I don't know, like, because okay, what I was gonna say without going too far into that, because my whole point is books are objects that I feel like are valuable, but I feel like I should be allowed to do that to them if they belong to me. Because I still respect them. I see them as like friends almost, and I see them as like the books are all kissing each other when I put them together. Like it's like Frankenstein style. Like this book, okay, this is one of them. This is The Brontes by Bettina L. Knapp. Oh, this is bad because I always hate when people go, I'm sorry if I butchered that name. Because normally I'm like, you guys probably did a lot of research into this. You could have like learned how to say their name, which I'm kind of doing that right now. But I still believe that you should look up how to pronounce people's names. But I don't even know how to show this. So like, it's like kind of like that, where it's like different layers. Like this page is literally just a coloring page that someone had in, oh, that was in like a anatomy book, because the back has anatomy definitions. I wish I could just show every page. I don't know if that's like literally even allowed. This is like a page about geology. I think that's the word. This is about, you know, like I gotta find like the best pages and then move on. But this book is actually genuinely good, and there's still plenty of pages to read in it, and the other pages are just like in different books. Obviously that doesn't apply if someone were to randomly buy this, but there's still plenty of information in it. Like, let's see, this is a book about, is it etymology? I always forget the difference between entomology and etymology. Like, one is about words, one is about bugs. Etymology, I think. And I love etymology. I love language. That's like another thing I could talk about and why I love books and stuff like that. It's already been like 9 minutes, which is annoying because like I don't want to be annoying, and I've only showed like 2 books. So this book actually has a lot of good information in it, and I also like that it's very, the way it's written is kind of funny. Like it was written in, I don't know if I want to find the year for every single book, because I don't even know if I can actually, but also just because I think it was written like the 1960s, which, you know, wasn't that long ago technically speaking, but it is for certain things. And I feel like with this book, I feel like that it is kind of Also, I got this definitely from a thrift shop, but I don't remember which one. This is the kind of book where they'll kind of say certain things and you'll be kind of like, that's an interesting way to say that. Like at one point they say that Heathcliff adopts like an autistic personality, and it's like, it's kind of fun to think of someone calling Heathcliff autistic, but the way it was written was kind of funny. There's like other things that are written kind of funny where you're like, this feels kind of... That's why I like buying used books about different people in history and stuff, is because I feel like, or like used books in general that are like old about nonfiction, because I think people will say things that are like very telling of their time period or just very interesting. Like you're like, well, that's not a thing anymore, or, you know, whatever. Like, I'm trying to remember, there was like another line that I thought was like really like amusing. There was like multiple things. Honestly, I should probably do actual book reviews so that it's not just me randomly saying things that aren't really coherent, I guess. I just love, I think the Brontes seem like lovely people, and I'm very into them, I guess. And I love the way they talked about their literature in this, and I haven't read the whole thing. I've only read some of it. But I kind of just want to show more, but like, I feel like this one's not even that interesting in terms of the ones I stuck in there, because sometimes I try to do it so that it's like the same, like it's almost like paralleling it or something similar to that, but that's not really what's going on here. That's not what's going on here. If this video gets to be 30 minutes long, I might just make multiple videos like this, because I don't really want to make like a 2-hour long video about books for various reasons. I think I'm kind of nervous to do that. Oh yeah, there's this page about plants that I put in there because I love plants. I really, really want to explain this book more, but I can't think of what to say about it. So I think I'm going to move on and kind of just say, hey, like, this book is good. You could read it. And it's also like a book I could do a future book review about, maybe, because I like the idea of doing book reviews. I've always wanted to do book reviews because I really, really enjoy talking about media, but I don't know what books to talk about as an actual review right now. Obviously, I'm busy. This is like one I got from a library sale, so it was super cheap. The Portable Thoreau. Actually, this is another moment where I'm like, am I saying that right? I think his name's Thoreau. And it's very nice looking on the inside. Very nice writing and stuff. And someone also lined stuff, like highlighted things. And this, I also haven't read this yet, but this is one of the ones I actually am going to read, because I think I really like the idea of Henry Thoreau. I really like nature. I really like how some of the things are written in here from parts I have read. He just seems interesting. And maybe he has reasons people hate on him, but honestly, from what I've seen, he doesn't have a lot of reasons to actually hate on him. I feel like people are being a little dramatic about the hate I've seen about Thoreau. Unless he's done something really awful, then I'm sorry, I didn't know. But there's some probably beautiful things in here that I just don't... I don't know if I should look at or read right now. Maybe I should make a book review about this too. I don't want to like sit and look at the book and then everyone's like, not that anyone's even watching this, but theoretically, if anyone were ever to find this document and watch it, I don't want them to be annoyed with me, even though it doesn't matter. It's like the way that Thoreau talks about nature is very cool, and I like it. I like this book. There's this part where this part towards the beginning where he doesn't talk to like his friend for like a few months, and his friend keeps like, I was gonna say messaging. His friend keeps sending him letters like again and again and again, like, Thoreau, why aren't you talking to me? And Thoreau's like, he finally gets so mad and he's like, I don't have to talk to you. I'm literally just a creature that like exists, like a tree exists, okay? Like, I don't owe people my time and energy. And it's kind of a vibe. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I think that's kind of a little messed up, because if I had a friend who loved me so much that they kept sending me letters even if I didn't respond, I'd reply. But it's also like, yeah, he's being a little needy, like to the point that it's a little weird if you're sending your friend letter after letter and like complaining about them not responding. Like, that's a little... I just realized I should probably... I don't actually know if that was better, but anyhow, I know that... So theoretically, I understand what Thoreau was doing and how he lived his life was very... I don't have to talk to people if I don't want to, and I get to just be in nature, but he does kind of read as autistic, even though I don't want to say that, because I really dislike when people call people autistic for things that they can't prove, or like miscellaneous things that are kind of, oh, like a neurotypical non-autistic person could do that too. But he does read as very interesting, and I don't know everything about him, but there's definitely elements to this I could definitely review in the future. I also just love the back. The front is also pretty all right. The side, not so much, because someone had to duct tape it all together, which I guess is one way to fix a book, but it looks very weird. Almost like the book wasn't broken to begin with. I don't really... Maybe just someone sliced the spine off. I don't know why they would do this, but... I don't actually properly know how to fix books, so sometimes I just like add glue to the areas I think need it. I think I need to learn how to properly fix it, because sometimes my books are just falling apart, and then I'm like, do I just completely just rip all the pages out and like do something with them, or what do I do to like make this a better situation for the book and for, you know, stuff. I don't even know which one to pick next, because like I want to pick ones that are actually interesting to talk about and not just like... I don't have like 100 books. I have like enough that it's a lot, but not really. This book, Trees of North America, A Field Guide and Natural History by Thomas S. Elias. So yeah, it's just literally about trees. I love environmental science, I love, but at the same time, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, I don't think we need like a million words to describe every single thing in nature, which I get to a certain extent we do, but sometimes it's too much. Sometimes I'm like, we should just experience nature, and sometimes like all the different classifications are just a little much. I get why they exist. I'm not trying to be anti-intellectual or anything. I'm just saying sometimes it's a lot, and you're just kind of like, but it's just a tree. Like, it in a good way, it's a good tree, but you don't need to like label them all as if... I don't know how to describe what I'm saying without going off on a tangent, and I don't want to, because I wanted to just chill and not do that because I'm in the mood where I could talk about any single topic for like a whole hour. So it's like kind of cool actually. The pages are kind of interesting, but also kind of not. I wish there was more color. I thought about coloring them before. I don't know. I probably should have organized before doing this so I could pick the books I think are more interesting to talk about, but this one isn't really that crazy to talk about because it's kind of one that I could read, but I'm kind of also like, I don't know how much I actually want to read the whole thing. It's more like if I want to discover what a tree is, maybe I'd read this because I love trees, but sometimes just the classification isn't that interesting for me. I mean, they do say interesting things like, oh, this is what the tree was used for. I really, really want to get more books on environmental science or botany that I think are more interesting to me because I have wanted to be a scientist in the past, even though I probably couldn't be a scientist. But I mean, I like to learn and be curious about the world. I just hope, like, this is, like, not a good place to film. Like, and I do not have the right technology. But whatever, moving on. So, oh, there's two really good ones right here. This one is, like, really good. And I feel like I haven't talked about this, but I feel like I could talk about this one for a long time, but I'm not going to. It's a really, really good J.M. Barrie biography. And I already kind of knew a lot about him from when I was a kid and I liked reading Peter Pan and I would read like the biography section. But I love biographies sometimes. Like sometimes they're really, really cool. And this one's really cool. It's kind of not counted as a biography according to the writer because it's more like a documentation of things. Like there's a lot of images. I don't even know if I'm supposed to show the images, but there's like a lot of images. It's like the writer of this actually knew one of J.M. Barrie's like adopted sons. I guess they were his adopted sons, I'm pretty sure. The one that lived the longest, and he was also like the youngest, he was named Nico. That's funny that I said I don't like to mispronounce things because honestly, I don't know if I'm saying that name right because I've only ever read that name for the most part. I mean, like I met one person with that name, but I wasn't like best friends with them, so I don't remember. But his name was actually Nicholas, I think. I think that was just a nickname. But he met that guy, and that person gave him a lot of these images and a lot of this information and letters, and it's really, really cool. And I think this is a book I could definitely do a review on because I also got this at a used bookstore, even though it's like so good and so, you know, J.M. Barrie is very interesting, and I think that a lot of this book is probably interesting. I haven't finished it yet. I have a lot of issues with finishing books. It's very, very hard to fully focus on a book and finish it because I don't need to get into that. I really, really don't. But I love this book in a way, and I love some of the images, and I wish I could have copies of them or something. And there's definitely like allegations towards J.M. Barrie that I think are worth talking about because there's discourse about it, sure, but I do think a lot of it is just kind of like hearsay that wasn't even said by people who were there at the time, and also based in, I honestly feel like because he was like a non-conforming man, like even just gender non-conforming if you think about it, like he was like probably queer and he was around children. I feel like that's very much something that would cause people to say these things about him even if it's not true, but that's like a whole other topic for another day. There is... I feel like there was this YouTuber that made a video about J.M. Barrie named Kazrowe, Kazrowe. You can go look up their video about J.M. Barrie because I feel like it was good. I don't remember it that well, but I feel like it was pretty good. I think that this is just a really good book to get if you don't know much about him or if you even do. I used to love Peter Pan, specifically the book, but I sometimes like learning the stories behind why something is the way it is rather than the actual thing, which is why I like things like biographies. I'm getting tired, and also I should probably stop filming soon, but... So I'll move on just because I'm trying... Like, I have more thoughts on this, but I want to stop because it should be for an actual review instead of me just, like... I also should figure out how much of a book I'm allowed to show on YouTube so that I don't get my video taken down, or I don't know what would happen if I would get in trouble. Like, I've seen people do it, so, like, I don't know. That's by Andrew Birkin. Oh, also, he seemed to have a very good relationship with at least the concept of J.M. Barrie. He seemed to be very close to that concept, very near and dear to his heart. And his son, unfortunately, passed away, like the same age that one of the boys did. One of the Llewellyn boys did. The J.M. Barrie's Llewellyn boys. Which was he kind of correlated that himself. It wasn't just me saying that. And that's pretty sad. And I mean, I think I can move on. That his son was also in a band, and I feel like I should figure out what band it was so that I could maybe tell you about that as well, but I think that'll be for like another time. I feel like maybe I have time for one more book before I don't do anymore, and then I'll come back to this another time, maybe even today, maybe tomorrow, to review kind of more books. This is one that I just love the cover. This is easy to talk about. I just love the cover. I haven't read it. It's got those sheared edges or whatever. I want to fix this cover up, actually, because it's tearing, and I don't think that's actually a good thing. And if I actually fix it up to make it look fixed and pretty, I think that would work. I'm also thinking that I'm honestly going to use this just for an art book / cutting up and then adding things to it. But I also think that I'm probably actually just going to give it to my mom for Christmas, because even though that sounds weird, my mom has African violets, and I think that even though this might seem like a weird gift, she kind of appreciates things like this, I feel like. And for me, it's like not really the kind of book you actually read unless you actually are like, whoa, I need to like grow these, right? Because even then, because it's like we have information online, and this book is so long for being about just literally one plant. So we'll see what I do with this book, but it's like, it is the kind of book that I think I wouldn't really read. I would just use it for decoration or for art-related things. Like, Mrs. Verdo Arbeck is someone who owned this. And I want to be able to figure out immediately when something was created, because copyright 1949, 1950, and 1951. So maybe it was printed in 1951. That's sometimes confusing to me. But it was by Montague Free. I'm going to stop filming for now because I want to talk about more books, but I really, really don't want to be overwhelming and saying things that are pointless when I could be saying better things. So this video is just really for me to look back on, but if anyone ever uncovers this, that's fine. And I hope that you thought any of them were cool. But yeah,